Hello guys, today I talk about the first country to have completely beaten COVID-19. Actually, it's not a country, but it's one of those weird places where it's technically a country and it's technically not a country. But they still consider it a separate place on Google. The place is Gibraltar. Gibraltar is a overseas territory of the UK. It doesn't really have a lot of people, but Gibraltar is the first place that is truly no more COVID-19. We have the map of vaccinations here. Gibraltar here. It's funny how Morocco is higher than Spain on vaccinations, but we have Gibraltar. Okay. 84% of the people have 95% of the people have received the vaccine, and 84% of people have been fully vaccinated. Fully. Yeah, this is the world here. Here. Some countries have been doing better than others, like Chile, United States, 19, UK, UAE, Israel, but they're far behind Gibraltar. Now we're going to go to COVID-19 cases, and let's go to Gibraltar. Here. Okay, Gibraltar is practically COVID-19 free. Okay, there's only 9 active cases in the country. Okay, and 10. That's Channel Islands. It's also those places that area has been doing well too. Here, which they're a part of the UK, Guernsey and Jersey. But we have Gibraltar. Okay, this is Gibraltar's case, as it has had a massive surge until January, and Gibraltar has not confirmed a single new case since March 16th. March 16th, not a single new case. The average was 0 since that day. The average for Gibraltar is now 0. Okay, and people saying you have these people saying that the COVID-19 virus, the vaccine doesn't work. You have all these conspiracy theorists saying it won't work, or put a microchip in your body. But here we have Gibraltar. Not a single death reported since March 14th. Not a single case reported since the 16th. No, since the 22nd. Actually, 22nd was the last time they reported a case in the country. And 85% of people in Gibraltar are vaccinated here. Here. And you can see here that it started going down as they started vaccinating people. The average, by the time they were claiming that, the COVID deaths are caused by the vaccine, the deaths started slowing down. Okay. And the average, this is before, we have this here, around January, around February, when COVID-19 started slowing down, only 40% of the population. It took until the end of February, until around the 19th to the 20th, to 50% of the population is vaccinated. It took until like the 20th, around the 20th of February. You can see here, okay, because people don't realize, but not all people during that time were not vaccinated. Around the time when it started slowing down, that's when the population, that's when not a lot of people were vaccinated in the area. Okay, January, it didn't even hit 40%. No, fully vaccinated, it was only like 1% of the population. This is fully vaccinated. Only 1% of the population, 50% of people have received the vaccine. And then once we get the fully vaccinated, it was around March here. And the last case was reported on the 22nd, which was 30% of the people in Gibraltar were fully vaccinated. Now it is 84%. There will probably be like a few new cases here and there now and then, but Gibraltar is now vaccinated its entire adult population here 3 weeks ago. Okay, 3 weeks ago, which was here. Which was here. So there we go. Gibraltar is the first country in the world to have truly defeated the virus. Now let's get back on to other things here. What I was saying the last time was India was going up in cases. India, yes, it may be done in the first world countries, but in India, I think I have to update this. But in India and many third world countries, it's going back up. Okay, and it still has gone back up since this has happened. Since then, a lot of places in the third world area. Okay, we're gonna go to Asia, and let's go look at India. This is India's cases. Okay, India. We have this massive surge in cases in India. This is India's graph. It's a massive surge in India. Okay, India has 1.38 billion people. Okay, 1.38 billion people, and it went up. It peaked around September last year at around 93,000. Now it's about to surpass next week the September average. Okay. Today they confirmed 100,000 cases and 600 new dead in India. 600 new in India. We have. We also have the active cases worldwide. It's starting to go back up because a lot of the third world countries who are struggling still with COVID. Okay, I'll gain it back. Iran is the next country we go to. This is Iran's cases. Iran is confirming record cases. Iran has confirmed a record 20,000 cases today. And Iran's going up massively. Iran's cases are going up massively. So, deaths are going back up in Iran too. But Iran's cases are going up massively. So obviously there's like some new variant going, and they have confirmed there's a new variant going around in Asia that is infecting way faster than it is, kind of like it was in the UK. And this variant originated in India. Okay, we're gonna go to Asia again. Here we have Turkey. This is another country that's having a massive resurgence in cases. Turkey is still confirming record cases, 54,000 today. This is Turkey's numbers, and this is the record they had in December, and then they started going back up. Turkey is still going up daily. The average is still going up in Turkey. Turkey is confirming 200 deaths a day now. Iran's confirming 100 a day. Okay, we're gonna go to more countries in Asia. Just a second. So here we get new cases. New cases. We can see here Bangladesh and the Philippines. The Philippines is kind of inconsistent because one day they had 15K and now they have like 6K a day, now 10K. Today it was 6K. Again, you see this is this squiggly line of Philippines cases. But Philippines is on average, confirming 10,000 a day, 10,000 a week. 10,000 average a day, no a week. Okay, 10,000 average. This is compared to its August numbers, which was 4,000 a day. Here we have the August Met numbers. Here. we're gonna do Bangladesh and Pakistan next. Those are two other countries, all right by India. Bangladesh and Pakistan. Bhutan's even confirming more cases now too. Cambodia, that's another one. Cambodia has been confirming average 100 to 90 to 100 cases a day. It is going down in Cambodia, but Cambodia, for example, we went last time, they confirmed they were like at 5 or 8 deaths. Now Cambodia's deaths have doubled. And it's all across Asia too, except for China. Okay? Suspiciously, China has not confirmed an uptick, even though all of its neighbors have. Same thing with Burma. Burma has not confirmed any upticks. So we go to another country. Indonesia. Indonesia went down because their peak goes around February to January. This is Iraq's numbers. Okay? Iraq is probably going to hit 1 million cases by the end of this month. Iraq has confirmed active is around up here. Yeah, Iraq's around here. This is Iraq's daily cases. It's also a squiggly line like Philippines, because again, testing capacity in Iraq is limited, like the Philippines, compared to Germany and the U.S. If Philippines and Bangladesh and all those other third world countries had the same testing capacity as the U.S., even India has a higher testing capacity. It has a testing capacity of most developed countries. India does. They have very high compared to many countries. They just have a lot of people they have to test. You can see here tests per the number of tests here. India is number 2 in number of tests. But India has to test 1.389 billion people. Oh, it's 39 million people. 1.39 billion people. Here we have the tests. India is number 2 in that area. And we also have a very concerning thing is Eastern Europe. We all know Eastern Europe. Ukraine and Poland are the 2 most populated parts of Eastern Europe. They're having the most amount of cases in Europe now. France has not actually updated their cases, but besides France, which records like 30, which has not updated the numbers today, Ukraine and Poland are confirming 14 to 15k. And look at the deaths in Europe. Poland, then it's Italy, which Italy is slowing down. Then we have Ukraine at 3rd, Russia at 4th, Hungary, Poland. Yeah, we have Romania, Slovakia, Bosnia, Greece, Czechia, North Macedonia, Moldova. Then we have some like smaller countries here, like Montenegro and stuff. And another place that doesn't really confirm many cases is Channel Islands. Again, another pretty highly vaccinated place hasn't confirmed a new case since that one day. But now let's get back to Asia. Okay. So we're gonna go to. So here we have Pakistan's numbers. Pakistan's actually going down. That's the trend in Pakistan. That's the current trend in Pakistan. So apparently Pakistan has dealt with their new rise in cases. But then we have Bangladesh, which is right by India as well. Well, if the outbreak in India gets worse, it's gonna go up in Pakistan and Bangladesh again, especially when it gets by those border regions in Pakistan and Bangladesh. It's mostly in Maharashtra. I can't pronounce Indian states. Maharashtra County, the place where Mumbai is. That's where most of the new cases are. Most of the new cases are there. But we have where is Bangladesh? Bangladesh is here. Okay. This is Bangladesh's numbers here. It's still going up. It seems that Bangladesh is also flattening out here, but again, it could be like India as well. Looks like it's flattening out, but goes back up, or Saudi Arabia's numbers as well. So yep, there we go. And the same thing with Mongolia. The only odd thing is China. Okay, I do think there is something suspicious going on in China. Okay, China sort of confirmed a second wave in the country. Okay, most countries are now having a lot of third world countries are now having their second waves or third waves or even fourth or fifth waves like Iran has. Iran's having a fifth wave or I think of COVID. But yeah, Africa had a second wave. Only China has not had a second wave of COVID. They actually had a tiny one. They had the tiny second wave around January. Well, it was going up here, but here it's China's numbers. But China hasn't had a true second wave like every other country has had. They had a tiny one in January, but maybe China's got under control, or maybe the truth is that China is lying about the numbers. Which, again, there are countries that have confirmed, like Tanzania, have been lying about the COVID numbers, and Tanzania, for example, is refusing to report on COVID cases. And the weird and the ironic part is the leader of Tanzania that died. He denied COVID-19 even existed and said that God protected his nation. And now there's rumors that the reason why he died was COVID, which is the biggest thing of hypocrisy I've ever seen from a world leader. You died by the thing that you denied existed. But of course we have North Korea and Turkmenistan claiming they had 0 cases as well. But I think that a lot of countries, like for example, a lot of African countries don't have a lot of cases because of the limited testing capacities. I think, for example, look at Africa's. We have South Africa with 1.55 million cases. South Africa has the higher testing capacity. The only country that has tested more than South Africa is Botswana. But you look at the test per person, you have Botswana, which I think Botswana has done a pretty good job of fighting COVID compared to many other countries. But you have the testing capacities of most of these countries. A lot of these countries have very poor testing. Look at DRC, Niger, Algeria, Sudan, Madagascar, Somalia, Chad, Eritrea, Burundi, Central African Republic. A lot of these countries don't even have 10,000 tests per person. Nigeria doesn't really have a lot of tests either. Nigeria has only tested 1.8 million people. Uganda hasn't really tested that much. A lot of these countries in Africa have not really tested a lot. Ghana, even some of the more equipped countries like Zambia, which had a massive surge in COVID cases. Rwanda is one of the more developed countries in Africa. People are, they still don't really have a lot of tests. Because you look at the tests per person by every country. Another country I believe that is tying to COVID cases is Tajikistan. Okay, Tajikistan claims they have 0 active cases, but look at Rwanda. Rwanda is actually higher than Japan, but Japan has a lot of people. Okay, Japan, has a lot of people. But you look at the bottom of tests per person, it's mostly, what you expect. A lot of the third world countries, a lot of the West developed, a lot of the poor regions of the world. Like, most of the countries that are usually considered the least developed nations in the world, you have Macau is like the only exception here, where you have countries like Yemen, DRC, Niger. Vanuatu is very low on this list too, but Vanuatu didn't really need to test for any COVID cases because they haven't had any because they're very isolated as a nation. But you have like some of the more poor nations like very down here, Angola, South Sudan, Taiwan is down here. But Taiwan hasn't really dealt with COVID as bad as having of Laos. But you have like a lot of the poorest nations are basically here. It's a very common thing here. A lot of the poorest and most underdeveloped countries are very much down here in terms of testing capacity here. Mexico, Indonesia. You have like the middle developed nations, Rwanda. You have the Philippines. Rwanda has done pretty much is considered one of the poorest, but they have done more tests than Japan and a lot of other countries like Mexico and here. Then we have like a lot of these countries here, you know, and then we have like then we have like the developed countries. I don't know why some of these countries up here are not considered developed. Like Arab Emirates is fourth in tests. Okay, fourth in COVID tests. Okay, and they're considered a developing country. I do not understand why they refuse to call United Arab Emirates a developed nation. Okay, it has all. It's funny how besides like the wars, maybe it's because they don't. Maybe it's because the wars are different. Maybe that's the only reason why the UN refuses to consider them a developed nation. But United Arab Emirates is not a developing nation like the United Nations says it is, considering it has more. It's the second highest country in terms of tests, only being behind Denmark. Here, and our country is, like for example, a lot of these countries up here are considered developed nations. For example, France, Latvia is considered developed. USA, But yeah, we have the developed nations, and here it is. Here it is. Here's the map of developed nations, and they list United Arab Emirates as a developing nation. It's in here. They list it as a developing nation. It's in here. They list, for example, they list a lot of Europe as developed. They list Greece. Israel is listed as developed. Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong, and Macau are considered developed, but not China. No. Here. And another country that isn't on this list, but I think that there's going to be more and more. I think that in the next couple of years, Maldives is going to graduate into a developed nation, as well. Maldives, another country that is considered developing, also has one of the highest tests per person. Them and Arab Emirates are the only supposed developing nations here. The rest are all like, small city states or territories or, developed nations. Like, oh yeah, and Bahrain is on this list, but they're not considered a developed nation at all either. Bahrain has the 12th in here. Then we go down here. We have Belgium. Georgia is not considered a developed nation yet either. Russia, Bhutan is high on this list. Has more tests, but again, Bhutan's a very small nation. They have less people to test. But you have another one is Russia. Russia is not considered a developed nation, despite them having more tests per person than Canada, Sweden, Finland, and Switzerland, all developed countries as well. Again, you can use the argument for Bahrain. Oh, Bahrain only has like 1.8 million people. Of course, they're gonna test all the people faster. Same thing with Maldives. But you can clearly see that these countries, and especially United Arab Emirates, which has 9.9 million people. The only other country of 9 million people in the top 10 is Austria. Austria is the only other country. And we're excluding territories. There are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're one of the only 3 countries in the top 10 with over 9 million people. That the other 2 being Austria and the UK. Okay. For example, the USA is farther down the list, but USA has 342 million people. And we go further down, France, Guyana, that's a part of France, because it's a part of France, it's automatically a developed country. Then we have the countries that are considered developing here. Okay. The countries that are considered developing, like Croatia and Romania. Botswana. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this decade, Botswana is considered a developed country. Botswana. I think Botswana will be the first country in Africa to be considered a developed country. Three. country. And Botswana in the 60s used to be one of the poorest in the world, and now you have GDP. This is the GDP. Here it's going up. Its HDI is now 100. Okay. We have the countries by human development index here. And Botswana is only going up on that list. It's not going down like a lot of those other countries here. Here. And we can see that, Maldives. Where is Maldives on this list? I think it's because of the human development index is why Maldives isn't on this list. Where's Maldives? I can't find them for some reason. They're not down here. They're not that poor. But Maldives, I think, is on this list too. Venezuela was down 44. Yeah. Arab Emirates is actually higher on human development index than Greece now. Yeah. It's now up there. It's now by Italy and Estonia as the most developed countries. Then we have Seychelles. Albania's dropped 4 spots. Albania's dropped. But yeah, not many countries are having declining human development index, except for Venezuela, down 44 spots. I can't find Maldives. They're definitely not here. Zambia is actually one of the higher developed countries in Africa here. But you have India. India is going up. Yeah, I can't find Maldives I have to also search up Maldives. That would be the solution. Where's Maldives on the list? Yeah, they're at 95th. That's where Botswana is. So they're gonna probably be a developed country by the end of this decade. Wouldn't be surprised. But again, they might sink under the water, so you never know with Maldives. They might just sink and disappear forever. But we have here, United Emirates should be considered a developed country. United Nations should stop saying United Arab Emirates is not a developed country. Okay. Bahrain is going up on this list too. Bahrain's gonna soon become a developed country too by the UN standards. But if you really think of it, Botswana is probably the most developed country in Africa. Besides Seychelles and Mauritius, which are islands. We have, Is South Africa high? I don't think South Africa. I think South Africa is lower. Yeah, South Africa is lower on this list. Okay, Botswana is here. The only ones that are higher are islands. Ones that everybody forgets exists because nobody goes to the islands unless they want to go on the beaches. Oh, Algeria is higher. And Tunisia I think is higher. No, Tunisia is higher too. Tunisia and Algeria are both higher. China has gone up 12 spots on this list. But yet we have the very high human development area. Like a lot of these countries are not considered developed countries over here. But we have the average annual HDI growth. The high growth is in South Asia. South Asia is developing rapidly. And this part of Africa. But again, they're like some of the poorest countries in the world. Yeah, but yeah, the biggest gains are in Asia. Yeah, because Europe is already a lot of Europe is already considered developed. They don't really need to go up the list anymore. Same thing with this part of South America. Same thing with here. Not Venezuela, though that place exists, but there we go. That's basically it. Goodbye.